into pain and the negative situation where you have pain causes poor sleep. If you have poor sleep, pain is worse. So explain that for people.
Yeah, well, so that has received a lot of attention in the last 10 years as well. I mean, and initially the belief was that because we were in pain, that actually that's going to reduce your sleep, you know, and that's obvious, isn't it? We know that ourselves. You know, if you can't get comfortable because you've got a dental abscess or an ear infection, or perhaps you've got a really painful injured knee, you can't get comfortable. And so as a result, you get less sleep. But interestingly, in the last 7 or 8 years, what the studies have really demonstrated is it's actually more driven the other way around, that a decreased amount of sleep for other reasons increases our pain perception. So, you know, actually, although it might be one night, if you've got a bad dental abscess and it's just come on, you know, and you've not taken any pain relief or whatever treatment for it, it may well be that you sleep really poorly that one night because of pain. But that one night's poor sleep, then the following day drives a huge increase in pain sensitivity. So we've got studies that tell us that just one 24-hour period with not getting enough sleep significantly increases the pain experience for that individual the next day.
And you can totally relate to that too as well. I can feel how that can happen just from my own experiences with myself. Yeah,
exactly. And so I said earlier, you know, there's all these silent things that happen when we're sleeping, and you know, there's too many of them to talk about now, so we just have to summarize it really. And that in essence, I mean, obviously we know that, well, many of us probably know, but we pick up pain both in our skin, in our muscles, and inside our body, you know, obviously in our gut, in our liver, in our heart. We can actually feel pain all over our body, pretty much all over our body, through these special receptors that detect potential tissue damage. So it can be damage from too much heat or being too cold, or it can be through kind of mechanical damage, you know, so being crushed or squashed or whatever. And so those signals, those receptors picking up that potential damage, send a message up to the brain. And a lack of sleep or reduction in sleep actually seems to make those receptors more sensitive. They're more likely to pick up damage. And then we also understand that there's always this feedback from the brain down to those kind of receiving points, those receptors, which is what we call a descending, because it's coming down from the brain, a descending inhibitory circuit. It's basically trying to always just quieten them down. And what we know is that sleep reductions switch off that descending inhibition. Double negative means that they're switched on more, basically.
That's bad.
So that's kind of our main part of it, with also perhaps the exception about stress, you know, as well, and what happens in the stress pathway. So